Okay, call this May 6th meeting of the Vance County Board of Commissioners to order. First off, we'd like to have prayer by Associate Minister Mary Anderson from Shiloh Baptist.
Greetings to each of you. Let us go to God in prayer. Heavenly Father, creator of both heaven and earth, we pause at this time, Lord, to say thank you. Thank you for your blessings, dear Lord, to each person that's present. We thank you, dear Lord, for your blessings to this county, dear Lord, Father God. We just thank you for all the blessings that you have bestowed upon us, not only individually, but collectively. God, we thank you, O Lord, for the freedom, God, to meet together and be able to discuss the needs of this county, dear Lord, Father God. We ask, oh God, that you will bless each commissioner. We ask, oh God, that you will bless each leader, dear Lord, Father God. We ask, oh God, Father, that you will give them, oh God, the mind. Your word said, dear Lord, Father God, that we are to trust you with our whole heart. Lead not to our own understanding, but in all of our ways, if we just acknowledge you, that you shall direct our path. So Lord, as we come before this commissioner meeting at this time, God, we ask that you will just allow us to remember not only ourselves, God, but each person, dear Lord, Father God, white, black, whatever color, dear Lord, Father God. We ask, oh God, for our own individual culture, Lord, that we will learn to respect each other. Oh God, we just want to say thank you, dear Lord, Father God. So we ask right now, Lord, as they come to attend to the business of this county, that you will speak to their hearts, their minds, and their souls. Father, we do want to say thank you. And this prayer and petitions we bring before you in the matchless name of Jesus the Christ. Amen and amen.
The first item we have on the agenda is public comments. We have 3 individuals that have registered to speak tonight. Excuse me. You'll have 5 minutes to speak. When you come forward, if you would, give your name and address, and then you can address the board. Generally, we do not make comments on that. We're here just to listen to you. So the first one is Terry Thomas.
Good evening. My name is Terry Thomas, and I live in Vance County. I'm a mom, a grandmother, an aunt, and I've been in Vance County for 5 years. And I live in Mariah Pam Apartments. An apartment building that I live in is not real good to live in, but I live there anyway. And one day last week, I went to the washroom. We have a washroom in our building. So I was washing my clothes in one machine. The other 2 machines was smoking, but I didn't realize it was smoking until I started coughing. I started coughing real bad. And then I see all the smoke in the room. So I had to run downstairs, get the manager. She comes up there, unplug the machines. And this was last week, but now this week is here and still no machines is working. We only got 3 dryers and 1 washing machine. So The department is not doing too good at all. And I started coughing and stuff like that. And it took a toll on my health. I've been getting headaches lately. And I don't think no one has to go through this torture. So I know the members of the county commissioner work hard to take care of this county, Vance County commissioners. And I'm hoping that the county commissioner sees fit to put $200,000 towards establishing an office of tenant services so that the tenants that, like me, can have the rights to better protect ourselves. This would amount to be approximately $10 per tenant in the county. This office would provide annual and pre-lease inspections, develop a landlord registry, provide legal and support for tenants, and a host of rights for workshops every 3 months for tenants. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me today. I look forward to seeing y'all establish the Office of Tenant Services. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. Next, we have Nicole Arrington.
Good afternoon, you all. Please bear with me. This is my first time speaking in front of a group of people.
Your address and
Nicole Arrington.
address.
1 Tiffany Lane, Henderson, North Carolina. My name is Nicole Arrington. I am a mother, a daughter, and a grandmother. My family means everything to me. They are my history and my future. I am also a very hardworking citizen of Vance County. I have 2 jobs and I love what I do. This past year and a half has been so hard on my family. I have a son plus a daughter-in-law who at the time was just trying to make it through school, all while being young parents. To my mother, to take care of herself, she does not receive enough income to have a home and be able to pay bills too. Then down to me juggling 2 jobs and a slum landlord. In May of last year, there was a house fire in my home. We lost our stove, our refrigerator, and our microwave. All of our food went bad, and I contacted the landlord same day as fire. I sent pictures and emails. He asked if I had insurance. I called them. I made the claim. I reached back out to him. He was very upset because the insurance company said that they were not going to pay for the damages that were done to the home because I did not own the home. I then started to receive notices in the mail with my name on it, but just a different lot number. He kept telling me to disregard them. It was a typo. So after doing all of that, I reached back out to him. He refused to fix the damages. He told me that if I bought the stuff for it to be fixed, that he would get his people to fix it. With both my jobs, I could not afford to pay him his rent and fix the home myself. After telling him that, I started to receive eviction notices in the mail saying that I owed over $2,000 worth of rent. I went to court, and the court, they ruled to his liking. The judge told me that I had the right to appeal the eviction, which is what I did. That bought me 2 weeks up until the next court date. On the next court date, I felt that the judge and the landlord had an agreement just because of how things went. And so they ruled to his judging. They ruled for him, and then that only gave me 5 days to move. But in the state of North Carolina, with an eviction on your background, it automatically boots you out of the system. They do not get your application. They will not accept your application. They won't even hear from you. So for about 8 months, we lived from room to room with nowhere to go. There were a few times where we had to just leave the room because there were too many of us in one room. And so therefore I was left to buy a room for my family to sleep in, and I slept in my car. As I said before, after contacting him as many times as I did, nothing was never fixed. It just became a repeated problem to the point, like I said, I ended up having to move, and that just left us with nowhere to go. We were living in a home that had bad floors. There was a leak in the roof. There was mold, and I have a grandson who is now about 8 months old. He was just coming home from the hospital, and that was not good for his health. So that's what I did. I filed for the The revoke of the eviction, like I said, that bought me 5 days. He called everyone he knew around Vance County and told them not to rent to me. So that still left me with nowhere to go. Emotionally and mentally, I was destroyed. I didn't know what to do. I just didn't know where to go. I had no one to go to. I couldn't receive help from anywhere. In about 30 days' time, I spent about $1,200 just trying to fill out rental applications. The application fees were so high that they were barely affordable, but I made do with what I had to find us somewhere to live. It felt like a smack in my face, that not knowing if we had enough money to get a room for that night, not knowing how we were going to eat that next day. It showed in my kids' schoolwork. My mom was so stressed out just trying to make something out of nothing. I just wanted to give up and die, but what help would I be to them if I just died? I couldn't even receive help from the social services or Franklin Vance Warren. I couldn't even reapply for my food stamps because I didn't have a valid address. In this county, it is bad that there are so many people who don't have a place to live, and not because they don't want to pay bills, but due to circumstances. The Office of Tenant Services would have been a great help to me because I didn't even know I had a right as a tenant. No one ever explained that to me or told me that. In this county, complaining as a tenant means eviction for the tenant. If the person that is complaining do not know that they have rights, then you just don't have anywhere to go.
You'll need to wrap it up.
Okay. I know members of this county commission works really hard to take care of Vance County, and I'm hoping that the county commission see fit to put 200,000 towards establishing an office to tenant service so that people like myself can have their rights as a tenant be better protected. This would amount to $10 per tenant in the county. This office would provide annual and pre-lease inspections, develop a landlord registry, and provide legal support. Our tenants will also have a Know Your Rights workshop every 3 months. I look forward to seeing this established. I look forward to seeing you establish the Office of Tenant Services. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me. Thank you.
Is her number on that sheet? Okay.
Okay, next, Ms. Tubbs. Haven't seen you in a while. Sorry?
Because she thought she was third. She said she thought she was third on the list.
I only have 3 names. This is the public comments. This is not the appeal process.
It has been a while. My name is Sandra Tubbs. I live at 350 South Cokesbury Road. And I'm here to get back in touch with you in person. Thanking you for appointing me to Senior Tar Heel Legislature. And since the pandemic began, Senior Tar Heel Legislature has not met the first part that 2020, 2021, early 22, they started using Zoom. And then we're now doing full services, full meetings 3 times a year. And I was going to come and see you earlier because I think now that we're meeting on a regular basis, COVID is going away. Of course, I caught it in December. And, but I just wanted to tell you that I serve on 2 committees with Senior Tar Heel Legislature. One is the Advocacy Committee and one is the Service Access Committee. At the Service Access Committee, I'm learning a lot about what's going on in the state, at the state level and at county levels for seniors across the state. And just wanted to make sure that you're in the loop. Not that I'm supposed to be passing the information along, but just I'm being pulled into those things. So At our March Senior Tar Heel meeting, we had the North Carolina County Commissioners Organization come and speak to us. And we were told that you guys are the most important people in the state. So I want to encourage you to keep up the good work. We also had a presentation by the Rural Center in Raleigh. One of the things that Senior Tar Heel is realizing is we need to go out and do outreach outside of the legislature. It's not enough for us to meet 3 times a year and go to the legislature once every 2 years to give them our priorities. So we are being asked to connect with the Rural Center in Raleigh. If you haven't been connected with them, I probably will be within the next 3 to 4 months. And I don't want to be stepping out too far out without you knowing that I'm out there. We're also supposed to be more in touch with our county commissioners. So I will probably come at least once a month, once a quarter to give you updates on things that as I find out about them. In my Service Access Committee meetings over the last couple of weeks in the last month, because this is our year for setting our priorities. So the committees are working actively to get them set, so we'll have them available by the beginning of next year. We had a presentation by Community Care Hubs is being worked on, and if you haven't heard about it, it sounds like within the next 12 to 18 months, they're going to be creating a large community care hub for the state of North Carolina. And then it's going to break down regionally so that it all rolls up. And the idea is to catch the gaps in coverage. It's not just for seniors, it's for communities. So that, for example, one of the examples they gave us is that hospitals get penalized for sending people home who return back to the hospital. And there's no way that they can keep up with that. So the idea is that community care hubs are looking at asking hospitals to pay for something under the AAAs to go out and follow up. And that's Health Community Care Block Grant, which has home health aides, it has Meals on Wheels, things like that. And so the idea is that the hospitals will pay for those services to supplement what you're getting in the Home and Community Care Block Grant. And you're filling in some gaps that are there. So people are working on that. Okay, I'm through. Very through. I also wanted to tell you that the Senior Center finally got approved as a Center of Excellence in April. They were not Senior Center of Excellence last year. And rather than put them at average for 5 years, we were able to make a case through AAA and myself being part of that to give them a year to make up. And part of that is the number of changes, and I'm going to respect the fact that my time is up.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ms. Tubbs, for your continued advocacy for the citizens in Vance County. We appreciate it a great deal.
You're welcome.
Next on the agenda, we have Frankie Nobles with our employee engagement team.
Good evening, everyone. We're actually going to let one of our team members come up and present this Employee of the Month, Debbie Scott.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. As he stated, my name is Debbie Scott, and I am one of the employee engagement team members, along with Frankie as our chairperson, and Greta Johan tonight is with us. And I'm here tonight to once again say to the commissioners, thank you as always for your support for this incentive. I really believe it's working. We can take time out to make our employees feel valuable. I also work at the sheriff's office. And so our nominee tonight is also works at the sheriff's office. So I'm gonna ask Captain Billy Gooch if he will come up. All right. Just come on. No, you.
I'm good.
You don't have to say a word.
Yes, ma'am.
We're gonna recognize you tonight. He has a quiet spirit, but he is awesome. And he's being nominated tonight because when it comes to teamwork, although Captain Gooch is assigned to the patrol division and the narcotics division, he always makes himself available to assist every employee, regardless of their position in the sheriff's office. As a command leader, he creates a positive atmosphere of support and encouragement. As a team leader, he models professional proficiency. Initiative because Captain Gooch is very skillful at redirecting any difficult situation with confidence and ease. With over 20 years of experience in law enforcement work, he demonstrates a high level of integrity and passion for helping, serving, and protecting others. He has built many good relationships within the community and good relationships with various agencies to solve problems. Attendance because his attendance is above standard and he models punctuality. Above and beyond, while serving at the sheriff's office, he has worked in various roles to stop or prevent crimes from occurring in the community, specifically as the Special Response Team Coordinator and a K-9 coordinator. His constant commitment to solving crimes and to help keep our community safer is commendable. Captain Gooch exemplifies outstanding leadership in public safety. And for that cause tonight, we would like to say thank you and congratulations, Captain Gooch.
I ain't personal, I ain't doing.
Congratulations for your commitment to excellence. And thank you so much for being an asset to the sheriff's office as well as making a difference in our community. God bless you.
Thank you. Appreciate
That's right. Sure, Chair.
it. Thank you. Appreciate it very much.
God bless you.
We're gonna use AI and you'll be in uniform, okay?
Okay, next on the agenda is our Board of Equalization and Review. We will convene that tonight and it will stay open through June 3rd. During that time, we will hear appeals for people that have scheduled appointments with us. We have 6 appointments tonight for review. And I'm going to go ahead and open the Board of Equalization and Review. The first case before us is Charles Williams, 123 South College Street. Do you want to give information on that before he comes forward, or would you like him to speak first? Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Mr. Chairman, what I would recommend is we let the taxpayer person who is appealing come forward, present us with what they have. If they don't have evidence that you guys deem sufficient to even analyze it, then I think we can save some time and move forward from there. But I think that would be the most expedient way to handle each of these.
Okay. Yes, sir. Just come forward, Mr. Williams, and if you'll state your name and your address, and then you can.
Good evening,
proceed.
good evening. My name is Charles Williams from 123 South College Street. And I'm here about the the adjustment on the taxes, the tax. The house that I got, I mean, is not worth $100 and some $1,000. And my compensation that I'm getting, I can't afford to, have an increase. I'm on a fixed income and I barely can keep, doing my yearly payments now, which I keep mine up. I'm not behind or anything, but it's just, that's a mighty big increase from a $20,000 house. I raised about 1,200 a year. And, I can't, I can't see it. So praise God. No, with the income that I make.
Sir, do you have any evidence or an appraisal or anything to substantiate or even,
Well, I haven't did anything to the house for the 14 years that I had it. I mean, but a little work. It need a roof on it now. And, I don't ask around. That costs almost $20,000 just to put a roof on the house. I don't make that kind of money, monthly on a disability to, afford things of that nature. And the houses around me that there's what's called the remodeling is mostly landlords stay beside me. I mean, those are renters stand beside me. And I can't keep up with, I can't keep up with them.
All right, just so, and I'll make this comment in general, there are certain rules that we have to follow. We can't make evaluations based on,
Yeah,
we have to have factual data in order for us to present it. So what we need to do is if you can present us some factual data that would indicate a value of the property different from what you assessed, then we would have some material in which to assess it.
Well, they say they rode past, I mean, the house haven't had any work done to it besides within the 14 years I've been in it. I mean, and the house is not worth, they looking at it from the outside, that's what I'm saying, but if you was to come inside that house and see from the time that I bought it, that house is not worth even $100,000, I don't think no one would even give $100,000, not even probably the good 20 that's worth.
Do you have any other information to bring before us at this time?
I just wanted to, address it. Just, I don't see where I could take an increase that strong.
Can I ask a question? Are you a veteran?
Hmm?
Are you a veteran?
Yes.
Okay, and did you consult the tax office about getting a veterans, any kind of veterans exemption or assistance?
Do I get veterans assistance?
I said, did you contact the tax office about getting an exemption based on your veteran status?
Oh, no, I didn't know. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know about a lot of that. I do most stuff for myself. I pay my stuff myself, cash wise. I mean, but I didn't know anything about
Are
that.
you a senior citizen?
Yes,
Are
I'm
you aware
saying.
there is a senior citizen exemption as well? Did you apply for that with the tax office?
Hmm?
Did you apply with the tax office for senior citizen exemption?
No, I didn't know anything of that. That's why.
Well, there are assistance,
Also based on income too, right?
That is based on
Right.
income.
and he did say he was.
So I need to go to the tax office to,
Did they inform him since he met with you all right, Portia? So was he informed about those exemptions?
no.
Okay, so probably,
You need to go to the tax office.
yeah, you need to go back to the tax office as far as dealing with any exemptions. There are veterans exemptions, there are senior exemptions and other items like that that can possibly give you some relief on your property taxes. I guess at this point, we need to hear from the county side justification. Is that correct, Mr. Attorney?
in light of him not having any factual evidence to present us, I'm not sure that there's anything to even substantiate
Sure.
reconsidering.
get with Miss Portia, the tax lady, and let her break it down and she can help you, because it sounds like you haven't been up there
Yeah.
to ask the right questions, because you haven't talked to Miss Portia.
Yeah.
So go to the tax office one day this week, ask Miss Portia, and she will break it down and probably help you where you can understand it.
So
That's
I
where
would-
it'll.
what I would possibly recommend is that we continue this to give him an opportunity to meet with the tax office and discuss those
Okay,
things.
Mr. Williams? I think, is that consensus of the board?
Yeah.
We're gonna continue your case
Yeah.
and let you speak with the tax office and then discuss those exemptions that are possible. And then, if you need to come back before us, you can do that. We're
Let's-
not gonna,
let's
not
just-
gonna make a
Let's
ruling.
just say it's continued until our next Board of VNR meeting.
Okay, so it will be continued, okay? Okay. Next, we have Russell Wayne Pulley. Mr. Pulley here.
He just left.
He just left.
I guess when he heard the information you put out to the first one, he got up, he didn't have his stuff, so he left.
Okay, so do we continue this one?
Let's just hold this one open till the end of the others and then
if he
doesn't come back.
Okay, so we'll hold this one open also. Next, we have Patricia Berry.
I'm Patricia Berry. I live at 105 Sandy Lane. It's in the area.
Pull the
of,
mic down a little bit, pull the mic down. Okay.
It's in the area of Brookston. After Warrenton turns into Brookston on the way to Middleburg. My husband and I bought this house in 2019 for $84,500. Since then, we put in a furnace at 5,000 and a shed at 4,000. So I valued it, at probably 95, 100,000. It was valued at 90,000. My husband has since passed, so I'm a widow. I'm 83. And then I got the tax evaluation for 172,000. This is a 20-year-old mobile home. They don't go up in value, they go down. And I filed a dispute and they lowered it from 171,980 to 171,930. They lowered it $50. That might save me 50 cents on my tax bill. And yes, I did file for widow exemption or senior citizen exemption. And I had given them a copy of our purchase agreement, our sales agreement, and all the information they needed. I don't know what other evidence that you need here. I also have an agreement with a fellow who helps me take care of the house. His father lives across the street. He wants to buy the house. And I had agreed to sell it to him for 110,000 as long as I could live there, which may be another year or two. As long as I can drive, I can stay. But it's really not worth $171,900.
Okay, do you have any evidence, Ms. Berry, to support your claim that it's not worth that much?
Well, I have my original sales agreement, which I gave when I filed for dispute. We bought it for
2019.
84,500.
Yeah, from 2019. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right,
I have a question.
I mean, I don't know what I would need to bring to show you what it's worth.
Okay, is the house underpinned? I mean, or is it permanently attached to the real estate?
It has cement foundation, yes, but it's got the vinyl siding.
Okay.
It's a double wide,
All right.
and it is on an acre.
Generally, what you would need some supporting evidence, whether it's an appraisal done of the property or some other comparables that would suggest that that's what mobile homes are selling for. There is a list of properties that we have before us that demonstrates, our real estate market increased dramatically over the past 3 years. When you bought it, that was a price.
Well, my neighbor right across the street also has a double wide and they valued him at 126,000.
Okay.
And it's nothing but mobile homes. We're all mobile homes and they're all 20, 25 years old.
Mhm.
I just don't understand how it could be valued at $171,900. It just doesn't make sense. So I would have to pay somebody to come and appraise it. That's probably going to be $900 fee.
I'm not sure. I believe there are alternatives to doing that as far as with comparables. And I believe you can probably explain some of those options. Is that correct? That would not entail a full price.
Well, the tax office did send a man out who took pictures, but he didn't look inside or anything else. I don't know if he came up with an appraisal, do you know? Pardon? Oh, that was you.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Did you give an appraisal amount or you just took pictures?
information that I collected was what went to this.
Okay.
Did she qualify for the tax? She said she qualified for the tax exempt. Did you qualify?
I can't hear
Did
you.
you qualify for the tax exempt?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Well, I didn't get a confirmation of that. I filled out the paperwork.
Oh,
I was under the guidelines, being a single person living on Social Security.
okay.
And I didn't know if they're gonna send a letter saying that I did qualify, but I have never.
Okay. All right. So here, it's similar. You've not really brought any evidence to support the value being less than what it is, and that's what we need to have. If you want to go back and try to find some evidence, to support
I
that.
suppose I could have a realtor come out and
I mean,
it'd be acceptable.
I think that could be an option if the realtor could give you some comparables and so forth. That would be something for consideration. And I guess, Portia, would you like to speak to that as far as what information she may bring forward that could support her evidence?
She can look at the sales that's around in her area. You can go on the website or go on vancecounty.org and go on the property record cards that can show the sales.
Well, my particular street, there's maybe 15 mobile homes. They've lived there for 20 years. None of them have sold. There's brick houses maybe 2 miles away over by Carver School.
And we
but-
have to look at sales. So if nothing have sold there, we have to look at out.
There's one behind me that sold for $4,000 last year.
See, those are
4,000,
kind
a
of-
single wide mobile home.
Those are kind of costs you can bring in to show them.
Okay.
And so this, we're required to have evidence in order to make judgment on this. And it's nothing that but we're bound by state law that there's a process that we have to follow.
But it's pretty unreasonable. And I think everybody in here agrees.
All right. Would you like us to continue your case or?
Please.
Okay,
Yes.
we'll do that. Okay, next we have Ben Hicks.
My name is Ben Hicks. I reside at 318 Pinecrest Road in Henderson. And when they were dynamited on 85, I had a lot of foundation failure on the outside and the inside, which I am not capable of having fixed right now because I'm on a fixed income and I can't afford it. I have a basement, but every time it rains, we have to keep everything up off the floor because it floods. I did buy a sunk pump, which it is broke now, but you can go down and raise the lever up and let the water out. But every time it rains, it floods. The house was built in 1964, and the first house up there, it's not but 4 houses on that corner. The first house has been empty for 3 years. The second house is a rental house. And the third house is my house. And I told the wife every year I said, it looks like to me the rocks are growing. But I live on rocks and it's really the rocks are not growing. When it rains, the land is just going down in the bottom. And couldn't get any help whatsoever from anybody when they were dynamiting on 85. And with all that foundation failure, my basement is not usable and I have a back porch that's not heated or not air conditioned. But the land that we live on is not hardly fit to be there much longer, the way the ground is sinking. But I wanted to present this to everybody. I do not think it's worth no ways what the appraisal is on it. Thank you.
It stated in our notes that you have an appraisal for the property at 78,000. Is that a recent appraisal? But you did not produce that documentation.
That was a whole appraisal, 78,000.
And that was from what time period?
Sir,
What time period was that?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so it wasn't within the last 2 years?
No.
Okay, all right, okay. And it looks like the tax office went out and actually looked at your property and your value was adjusted from 158,571 to 130,220. Is that correct?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. All right. Do you have any other evidence to support the value being less?
No, I know that the house over there was up for sale for about 2 years and they couldn't sell it. And which it was a good neighborhood when I moved over there in 95, but it's just faded away.
Who went out and reappraised it? Who went out and made the adjustment? Who did that? You went out and made the adjustment?
Yes.
And how did you arrive at your conclusion?
How did I manage my conclusion?
Yeah. What did you base it on in terms of reducing it?
You can come forward to speak so everybody can hear.
If you look at forgive me, Mr. Hicks. It's me. My name's Austin. I will represent the Vance County Tax Office in regards to this appeal. If you look in the notes on the document, we actually took the foundation issues and the sump pump and the fact that the basement floods into depreciation condition.
Okay. What grade did this, A through D or whatever?
Depreciation. We considered it fair for its age.
Fair for its age.
With below average, given the information about the basement.
Okay. All right.
Have you applied for any, I don't want to get in your business or anything, but I mean, like loans or anything? Sometimes banks do appraisals prior to giving loans or anything, that they may have some information documenting what someone has appraised the house for, other than going out and hiring an appraisal to come out. You know, there are sometimes other avenues in which you can maybe get someone's fair estimated value of what your property is, the fair market value as such. Do you have any of that other type of information that we can look at to determine, based on that documentation, whether or not the amount that you are claiming is lower or higher than what the documented information shows the actual value is?
I can see her talking, but I can't hear.
She was asking if you've sought any other means of an appraisal outside of.
I'm Kay Hicks, and what he's saying is that they have upped the tax value so high, more than what it's worth. And the land in front of us years ago was supposed to be the rock quarry. That's where it was going to go. So it actually looks like we have rock growing in our yard and everything is falling down. Mr. Hicks is very sick. He has stage 4 lung cancer. I also have issues, and with all the medical and his special diet that he's on, it's way more than we can handle. We can't fix anything that's broken because of these issues. So we were just asking and hoping everybody would understand, because he's 81 years old. I'm in my middle 70s, and it's just really hard to function. So we appreciate anything.
Can you, do you have any connection, anybody when the real estate, anybody in the real estate could come out and look at it and look at it and in terms of praising it, connection and appraising that it would be more in line with what you think it's worth? Do you have a friend in the real estate business? You know somebody you could contact?
I don't. I sure don't. And also just this week, Mr. Austin came and helped, but just this week, the city in front of a house where it's just a steep drop off, they're clearing all the trees and everything. They've got to run a water pipe.
I noticed that today, yeah.
Okay, so now you hear all the traffic on 85, 24/7 every day. I mean, it's horrible. All those trucks, I mean, it's nothing to stop the sound. And I would love for somebody to come. I know you did. Thank you.
You just suggest that.
I would suggest that maybe we can find a real estate person to go out and look at it in terms of connection, look at it and determine that it may be more in line with what you think it should be. We'd be glad to continue if you don't mind doing that. Maybe that'll help you bring it, in terms of the issues that you've raised.
Okay.
Would make the property more in line with what you think it would be, then you could bring it back to us and everything, and let us look at it.
Okay.
Give you the option to do that, and we just continue it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Also, have you talked to them about the senior citizens?
We're gonna continue.
Thanks.
Have you talked to them about the senior citizens?
No.
Okay, if you can get with our tax, assessor, you may be able to get some relief in that sense, especially since you're both elderly. So that may be of some help to you in light of, your age, and, I don't know if you're a veteran or not, or,
No, he is.
okay, but there are.
Mr. Chairman, ma'am, did anyone talk to you about what you needed to prepare for if you came to the county commission to talk about it? No one has talked to you.
Not about that, no.
Do you think it would help in the future for everyone if they had an opportunity to talk to someone about what things they need to do or what things they need to bring or what they need to do to talk about this when you come? Would that help?
It would.
Yeah.
It would for us, I know.
Yes, sir.
Either an appraisal or sales. And I believe that information. That was.
All I'm trying to say is, let me rephrase that. All I'm trying to say is, would you like to have more education and more information before you came to talk to us?
Yeah.
Is that something we can help arrange for the?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
It seems to be the same thing over.
Yeah.
Am I wrong with any?
I'm kind of hearing the same thing and it's, these guys do this on a day-to-day basis and they're very familiar with their subject. The citizens of this county don't do this every day. So this is totally foreign.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get to.
We
And I
need
think
to-
we need to have,
To be able to try to help.
I think we need to have that from the government and from our government, county government, to educate these people and let them know what's going on and what they might be able to do, because I'm seeing right now, you're probably gonna continue this case.
Yeah.
And I'll bet you, I may be shocked, you might continue next. So that's all of them. So that teaches me a lesson.
Yeah, and we are having an education session on May 20th in this room at 4 p.m. as well.
Yeah.
Yes, but we'll provide information
What
before as
I'm
well.
more interested in is the people that are coming to us are educated about what we're looking for, what the county's looking for, what the state of North Carolina is looking for. That's what I'm.
Okay, yeah, we'll address that.
And
Yes, ma'am.
especially if we already have their names, seem like maybe somebody could have reached out and said, this is what you need. I mean, sometimes it's foreign, you talking. I don't know if somebody, since we already have them before us, that somebody could have reached out and said, this is what you need before you come.
I believe that was taken care of. I'll let Portia speak to that.
He was fantastic. But I'm saying like at our age, sometimes something don't get, you know.
Hey, ma'am, you're not alone with that.
We're just having a difficult time, and once you
I
get
understand.
to this stage of your life,
I
and
understand.
then all of this happens, I mean, it's really hard.
Maybe a little bit more communication would help.
I think
But I
so.
think
I mean,
I think what I'm hearing is that portion, when the folks meet with them, portion everything, shares information. And I would agree, because my son asked me sometimes, explain to me, Dad, what did you not understand when I explained to you the first time? And I think a lot of times it goes over your head.
it does.
Too much information.
It does.
It's
almost-
overwhelming.
Huh?
It's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. Too
Yes,
much
it is.
information is overwhelming.
Yes, it
And I
is.
think
It
when you
really is.
reach our age, I'm in the same category you're in, when you reach our age, you process certain things and certain things you don't process, and there, a lot of things just go
Right.
right across your head and everything. So
I mean,
um,
it's just, it
I just-
is
I-
overwhelming.
I just think that I've been a little bit more caring what Tom is saying and everything, that we make when it's senior citizens, that we take a little bit more time for them to explain and for them to understand. I think you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, but I think when you get to be a certain age, too much overwhelming, like Sean said, it's just too much information, it's overwhelming.
It is, and when you have sickness,
And you're
That's
dealing with,
very,
when you're
very-
dealing with sickness and what's coming and everything, that takes a second, that takes a backseat. I would.
it does. It really does. And it's really very hard. I really feel, you know, you never think you're gonna get to this point, but it is.
If you live long enough, you will.
I'm trying to get there.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll continue your case.
Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you.
Okay. Next is Angela Crudick Archie. Okay.
My name is Angela Taylor. I'm here today because they saying that my house is valued at $103,000. But I got pictures to my next door neighbor. The house right beside me is abandoned, it's boarded up. The house across the street from me is boarded up. And then the grass is high. Then up the road from where I stay, it used to be the flower shop. You got homeless people staying in that. And then on Maple Street, we got a hoarder over there. So I know my house ain't no $103,000. Nobody would buy that house for that price when you got hoarders, then you got abandoned houses. I got abandoned house across the street and one beside me. And then I'm right at a dirt road,
Okay.
Where's this at, William Street?
William Street Extension.
Right off of Maple Street, you know, the old car wash, they don't use no more.
Yeah, it's a car wash there, but then it's a hoarder right down the street from there. It's a hoarder. And nobody won't do nothing about it.
What's the name of that church? Sitting right there when you pass that.
Hello.
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know William Street, then go down.
Go down Nicholas Street, make a left, and you got the abandoned car wash, go past that.
Karen. Can I ask her one question?
So,
Ma'am,
Yes.
do you have anything in writing, or have you been to see anybody about what the value you think your house is worth, or a realtor or an appraiser or
No.
anybody?
No, I haven't. But if you got an abandoned house next door to me that's boarded up, and then you got a
I don't
boarded,
disagree with you.
yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with
So
you.
the
at all.
people came out, when they came out to
They
look at it,
did anybody did anybody talk to you about getting any kind of thing or anything
no,
to back up what you were talking about?
no, I got pictures.
Yeah, but have you gotten anything to back it up in writing?
No, I got the pictures. The area that I'm staying in ain't worth $103,000.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
Now, you look at the pictures and tell me, would you pay $103,000 for that house?
I'm on your team. I agree. The state asked us to get something and we got to do.
And I'm giving it to you in a picture.
It is
If you
sometimes
get
a
it in
picture's
doc-
worth a
If you
thousand.
can get it, just as we told the other lady, if you can get it in, get someone in terms of real estate, in terms of based on what you're saying, these pictures, based on what's around, and documentation. The pictures are fine, but if you had, like he was saying, the state, we have to have documentation. The pictures
What kind of documentation is
from a real
needed?
estate person or somebody.
So I need to go hire somebody to praise my house.
No, not necessarily, not necessarily. You're local, you can make some contacts and say, look, what do you, what do you think this may be?
They just sold the house next door to me for $12,000.
Say what?
The house,
That kind of documentation, bring that kind of, you said,
Well, that house, that was in the pictures. That's the boarded up.
That's the one.
yeah, that's the one they sold for $12,000.
documentation is that.
That's public record.
Yeah, it's public record. Their house sold for $12,000.
Okay, I guess what they're trying to say is that's documentation, but that's not before us. We don't have any document. We have your word and we're not disputing your word, but we don't have any documentation saying that house sold for 12,000.
Okay, so I need to bring that back.
Yeah, you can go to the tax office, ask them for have the address and they can pull it up. It is no charge or whatever. We just provide documentation
Okay,
of what you believe is the valuation. You
So
just
you'd like to
support
have
it.
your case continue.
yes.
And based on what Ms. Fixer just said, also, the ones that are boarded, get documentation of what they're worth too. That substantiates, that will substantiate it too.
Okay,
All right, the other issue is that we have appraisals here, comparables here that are available. You pull them up online from a tax cards and they're available on the back of the sheet. So these are houses that are presumably similar in quality to yours. Okay, so you need to be sure that any comparables you bring are similar in quality to your house. And you can't go pick abandoned houses.
no, these are next door. This house is next door
I
to me.
understand it's next door, but it's boarded up. Is your house boarded up?
No, it's not, but if anybody gonna buy a house with a house next door boarded up for $100,000,
And that would affect the market, and there should have been some adjustments.
yeah, they should have just that when they saw that them two houses boarded up next door to me,
I have a question.
if they came out.
When they came out, did they also go inside or?
They never came to my house. They never came.
Okay. And did you have an opportunity to give certain characteristics of your house, which you believe may have brought the value of your house down? Did you have that discussion with them as well?
They told me that the houses that was up there across the street from Larry Service, they said those houses sold for $200,000 and $300,000. That's what they told me at the tax office when I asked them how they thought that this house was worth that.
Larry Service.
So they told you that was the comparable?
Yes, but those are huge houses with double car garages. Those houses has been remodeled.
You said they sold for what?
They said those houses, that's the tax office told me them houses was selling for $200,000 and $300,000. Right
there by
across the
the light.
street from Larry Service,
Right there by the light.
But the house next door to you sold for
$12,000.
Please bring me that piece.
And I will, cause it sold for $12,000.
Thank you,
Okay,
ma'am.
so we're gonna continue that and then we'll review that. You can come back before us, or if you want to present back, work with the tax department, you can do that. And then
Okay, so I need to go back to the tax office.
you need to find some values, some appraised values, if you need some
Okay, I can
assistance
pull
from
those
them.
two houses up.
But you need, right here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 comparables that the tax department has provided us.
Has she seen that?
Have you seen that information?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
You wanna see it?
Yes.
This is what the chairman is talking about. Those are the comps to your house.
Ain't but one of these houses over there where I stay at, and that's Maple Street. And that's on the other side. That ain't even close to
But
my
what
house.
the Hess is also saying here, these are comps to the base evaluation value on. But your situation is different because the neighborhood that you live in would bring the value of yours down. That gives you an idea of what houses are selling from the area. But if you pull what we're asking you to get and everything and look at, even though your house may look like the comps and everything, but where it's situated would make the value of it less.
Okay,
Okay?
all right.
So So do you have any questions for us?
Well, so I need to come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come back. Okay, so we'll continue yours.
Okay, so what's the next date?
Right, we're gonna work on that, just depending on that, but you'll be notified.
Yeah, you can have mine. He wants it to.
Oh, I didn't think she can have one.
It's all public information.
You can have it.
So y'all can send
Yeah, we'll
paper when
continue.
I come.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next, we have Brenda Watkins.
Hi, my name is Brenda Watkins, 271 South Lake Lodge, Extension Road, Henderson. I'm talking about the value of my taxes on my land. I don't know how in the world it could have went from 50,000 to 109,000. They did do an adjustment. They did bring it down to 107,000. I think that was $1,600. That's not going to work. Not at all. I'm on a fixed income. My husband passed away a couple of years ago. I'm all by myself. I do not work. What I get is what I get. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel, but it's hard when you're a single person. Everything goes up. Everything goes up. Food goes up. You know, I have to buy my own health care. I don't get any Medicare. I have to pay for it. To top it off, electric goes up, water goes up, car insurance goes up. I live in a double wide, an old double wide, This young man is the one that came and did this. I don't have a pool anymore. I don't have a outbuilding anymore. I don't have a deck anymore. I did away with all of this, but yet my property taxes went up. The value did. And I'd like to know how that happened. It is no way in God's, it's just no way it could have happened. I had a $1,700 heat pump part mess up. I had to pay that. I couldn't make the payment. I had to make payments on it. Do you know how hard that is? Some of you don't know. You got wives, you got husbands, or you got somebody to help you. I don't. And there's a lot of people in here just like me that don't. We're all by ourselves. And I know I've got people, this double wide that I live in. Do you know how hard it is to get insurance on it? Do you have any idea how hard it is to get insurance on an old double wide? I had to hunt around, and the insurance I have is cruddy. Farm Bureau, they said, Ms. Watkins, I'm sorry, we've got to cut you off. We can't give you insurance anymore. So I didn't have insurance. I did without insurance for just about a year until I could get me some insurance. Cruddy insurance, but hey, it's better than nothing. Because if something happens to it, I might have to live in a little single wide or a little camper, but it's something. I still got my land. It's something. I've got people around me. It used to be a really nice neighborhood. I live right outside of Kittrell. People, you know, my neighborhood was pretty good, but it's not that good anymore. I have people that live around me. The grass is this high. I got junk cars all around me in the neighborhood. Nasty. They don't care what the neighborhood looks like. On one side, I got people, every time you turn around, you got a gun shooting. I got grandchildren. I can't even take care of my grandchildren because I'm worried somebody's going to shoot one of them. So I go to their house and I take care of them. I have to worry about my property. I caught them jumping over my fence, trying to steal something out of a building.
Ms. Watkins, do you have any evidence? It states here that your opinion of value is 75,000. Did you bring any evidence to support that your property is worth 75,000?
Sir, I just said I don't have any decent insurance on my mobile home. Wouldn't that tell you that it's not worth it?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
When did you get the insurance, quote? Has that been within the last 2 years?
Yes.
Okay, have you thought about going back to the insurance company? Because normally they're gonna look at valuation when they determine the price you're gonna pay.
Well, I've got the insurance. I mean, I've got my insurance. It's something called joint something another.
But I mean, the statement which shows the
Value.
value.
It
of the
should be
property.
on there.
Yeah, so that's what we're looking for, documentation. You see? what
It
I'm saying?
should be
So
on
you don't
there.
have to
I mean,
actually, everyone don't have to go out and get an appraisal because.
I mean, nobody,
Yeah.
you know, you were talking about, and it is a good idea, but nobody even said anything.
That's
to
my
me.
point completely, and I.
And I wish they would have. If
Now, that's-
somebody would have
my
said,
total point is, it would save you time and saved us time and all of us from going around and around if you'd have had some kind of
Exactly.
documentation here to present to us.
but I had nothing.
And
Nobody
nobody,
told me
but you
anything.
told me, Brenda, that nobody told you.
All right, so would you like the opportunity to
Yes.
go back and find that information?
Yes, because I do, like you said, it should be on my insurance paper.
Well, the insurance is not gonna be an item that we can use to evaluate the amount of insurance you have. It's not gonna be,
But it should have on there what my mobile home would be valued at. That's what I'm gathering anyway.
Well, your insurance is gonna be based on what you value it at.
so,
Because you pay for your insurance about what you value it. But your best deal is to go back out and to get someone to drive by and look at your house in a ride-by appraisal or whatever, or different, get a real.
So that means I've got to hire somebody to do that?
Sometimes you do, and sometimes some realtors will be glad to help.
Tom, I thought in terms of insurance is based on, my insurance company tells me it's based on replacement value. Don't tell me, not what I think it is. If what I think it is.
Replacement value now.
you can value, get whatever level of insurance you want. There are some laws that say
You're right on replacement, but what I'm saying is you can buy insurance now that's not replacement value.
Oh, you just say you got insurance.
Yeah, that's correct.
okay. All right, so what I think I'm hearing is you'd like the opportunity to go back and
Yes.
find some. So go back and brought those and we'll just hold this and we'll continue this.
Okay, and so you will let me know?
They will let you know from, talk with them at the tax office as far as that's concerned.
So what do I do? Call them or they call me or?
All these cases tonight that we've had presented to us have been continued, is that correct?
Yes.
Everything tonight has been.
Did you coordinate with these people as far as that's?
Yeah, with the tax office, absolutely.
Okay,
And also, have you applied for the exemption as well?
I'm not old enough.
Okay.
I have to be 65, so I've got 2 more years. But thank you very much anyway for offering it, and I appreciate it. Thank every one of you. You've been very kind, especially you. Thank you again, everybody.
Okay, like I said, Board of Equalization and Review will remain open. And I think Mr. Pulley was not here, so we will not act on his evaluation tonight. But I think a common theme tonight is that some people just don't understand what information they need to bring. And there needs to be more education on that. And also there quite possibly needs to be more information on the exemptions that are available. And so we need to make sure that that information gets out to the public and that we're sharing that information with people when they come for appeals.
But I'd like to add to that, Renee, I think in terms of information, I think when it comes to senior citizens and everything, we need to take just a little bit more time, because like Charles said, the information is overwhelming. And, and I'm sure Porsche and the folks do an excellent job in trying to explain to them. But when you have limited knowledge about what's happening and everything, they just have a problem, just too much information all at one time. So we could be a little bit more sympathetic with our senior citizens. I think they would appreciate and would understand.
Absolutely, we'll address it.
And I would like to reiterate that we are gonna have a session, instead of having a work session, we are gonna have an information session that's gonna be dealing with these tax revals. and all of you are welcome to come. Anyone who's watching on YouTube or any other medium, you're welcome to come. But if you have any questions, the tax office is open, their door is open. We have an open door policy. Don't hesitate to contact them either by phone, mail, or whatever medium you need to contact them, because they're there to answer your questions. And, this team, they have been very helpful in answering our questions, and the same questions that we probably have, you all probably have as well. So reach out to them if you have any questions, or you can provide any information to your neighbors, your friends, or whoever about the tax valuations, because this is something that we are required to do by law. This is not something we just came up with. We are required by law to do this within 8 years, every 8 years. So, we are doing this because we're required by law, and we're willing to extend any assistance we can to make this process easier. So I just wanted to add that.
All right, we'll move on. Next item on the agenda. Logan, we have a appropriation of some grant funds.
So good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Yeah, so tonight, what I have before you or bring before you is a resolution to officially accept the 2023 appropriation money. I came and spoke about it a couple months ago. That was the money that was allocated to be used for the Vance County Water District Phase 1B project. So what this resolution tonight does is on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, it accepts the money. And it also authorizes your county manager, Ms. Perry, as the authorized rep to sign the other paperwork that's associated with that grant.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
I make that motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I guess you want to go ahead, Logan, and we'll get into our next issue. I'm going to convene the Water District Board. And we'll talk about the Phase 1B contract 2 for the SCADA proposal.
Absolutely. Are y'all in the water board? Did y'all switch? Are y'all in the water?
Yeah, I'm in the water
Okay.
board. I just convened that, yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so I also have before you tonight is I just want to present two options. As part of the Phase 1B project, there's a narrative here that kind of describes it. Not sure if you had a chance to review it, but basically the ability, right now Vance County Water District has 2 tanks, 2 booster stations, several meter connections, all of which do have a SCADA system that was installed when you were built, except for Kittrell. Kittrell is a system that you acquired from another entity, Kittrell Water Corp, several years ago. And right now, Vance County Water District does not have the ability to see that tank, nor there's a vault that's installed close by. You have no ability to see it or control it. The improvements that are scheduled as part of the Vance County Water District Phase 1B project include work at the tank, which is basically where you're painting the tank, some work at the vault. Both of those require the need for them to be fully functional, to see the water level in the tank. And what it does is the water level talks to the valve, and then the two work together. So tank empties, the valve opens. When the tank fills, the valve closes. Right now, what happens is it's just a pressure set point, and it really limits you on being able to fully use that valve. Your staff and operations staff have to keep the tank about a half full because what happens, the pressure grade changes coming from Henderson. And if they set it at one level, the tank's overflowing. If they set it at another level, then it's not filling up enough. So this is the improvements being made as part of the Phase 1B project need the SCADA system or need a SCADA system to operate. So that's why the SCADA is needed. It also is just something you want. That way your staff can check the water levels and view operation. So there are 2 options that we've included as options to do. One is Custom Controls Unlimited. They're a well-known SCADA provider, operate systems or monitor systems all over North Carolina. They offer a cellular service. It'll take 4 to 6 weeks to get. The prices and everything are included in it. Second option is LKC Services. This is a quote that's provided, also provides a cellular service on the system. So LKC Services is a company that is associated with the same partnership, the same leadership as LKC, in full disclosure. But what it is a licensed electrical contracting company that was offered to provide services such as this and just general maintenance on items needed throughout the state. I've actually helped you on one of your booster stations before on other projects. So you got two options here. I don't want to make either recommendation. It's up to you to which one you want to decide, or I'm here to answer questions on either one of them.
You said option 2 is general maintenance and 1 is what?
So I would like to say they're both equal. Both of them provide two radio telemetry units or remote telemetry units, both at each site, both operated off of cell service. So they do the exact same thing.
There were some items, software and stuff was not included on the first estimate. What cost do we look at for that? What are we looking at?
I'm sorry, what was your question again?
There were software cost was not included in the first estimate proposal.
Okay, the software cost is included as part of.
Said services not.
I think that's just software updates, like in the
Well,
future.
updates.
Yes, sir. So you'd pay a service fee in the future for updates and maintenance.
Logan, out of these two deals,
Mm-hmm.
and you're the engineer,
Yes, sir.
so which one of these do you like? You know, I'm gonna ask you. I mean, you're the engineer.
I think both of them provide exactly what you need at the system. So
Are you in politics?
Well, both of them provide exactly what we need. What's such a difference in the price?
I'll be honest, the mission, like the second option, and you saw the colorful pieces of paper, the tank and well package, it's a more off the shelf kind of package. And but that's why they build it.
More off the shelf.
The off the shelf is the mission builds these off the shelf products for situations like this. It's an affordable piece.
And everything in terms of the two options, in terms of the track record for the two which one has the better track record?
Great question. I feel like, I don't know the timeline. Mission has been out for well over 10 years, probably closer to 20 years. I don't know their full history. VT SCADA has another track record, a well track record too. Both companies have, both providers offer similar products.
I don't like your smile.
I'm sorry.
Well, he's pretty close to
I'm sorry.
being in a conflict situation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, guys.
Like a conflict.
Okay.
I don't like conflicts.
I mean,
I will say,
while it's a different entity, it's still
Okay, thank you.
part of a parent company or something, I
it
guess.
is part of a parent company that shares the same ownership. I have no stake in LKC Services. So I come to you on behalf as your county engineer, district engineer.
These systems, these systems have to work with the Henderson Water.
Correct. And both of them
Do
would.
they have an opinion on which one would work better for them?
I have not asked them.
Okay, because I know previously, I think we had a big mix up with it when we were doing the original SCADA stuff on the new system.
So I can share a little bit of insight on that. So the SCADA system that you have on your other tanks is a proprietary system that was installed, to my understanding, because that's what City of Henderson had at the time. If I recall, not too long after that, the City of Henderson had some issues with their system that was very similar, and they made a switch to a non-proprietary system. which is more like either of these options here. The option one, I am pretty confident that they are now the SCADA provider. Customer Controls Unlimited is now SCADA provider for City of Henderson.
Mr. Chair, proprietary systems are generally, not acceptable because they're generally more expensive than open systems. Open and off-the-shelf system is the way the world goes most of the time these days.
Yes, sir.
Not proprietary systems.
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Chairman, I would tell you that proprietary system we don't want.
Okay, which both of these are off the shelf.
Off the shelf.
These are not.
Yeah, the platform that Customer Controls has proposed, they operate a non-proprietary SCADA network. So both are non-proprietary.
He make a motion or not?
No, he did not.
If I'm looking at this correctly, the option number one is 31,000, option number two is 18,000. The faster is option number two to install 2 weeks. And the other one is 4 to 6 weeks, is that correct? I make a motion we adopt option number two.
Second.
Good.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
No, sir.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, everyone had an opportunity to review the monthly operations report. Are there any questions? Do we need any attention on any of that? Okay, being none, I'll adjourn. The Water District Board, committee reports.
Ready?
Go ahead.
So, intergovernmental committee, the committee, Commissioner Taylor, Commissioner Kelly, Commissioner Austin was absent, but Commissioner Brumett was attending, and county staff met with the City of Henderson council members, Noel and Seifert, and city staff on Wednesday, April 24th of 2024 to discuss a potential co-location of county EMS and the city fire department. The Intergovernmental Committee recommends creating another committee to further vet the potential partnership and bring recommendations back to the Intergovernmental Committee. Chairman Brumett has assigned the Public Safety Committee, Commissioner Austin, Commissioner Brumett, and Commissioner Faines, as well as Javier Plummer, who is our EMS Director, as the county's committee members. Future meetings will be scheduled after the county's fiscal year 24-25 budget is passed. So this was just for your information. Anybody have any questions in reference to that? No? Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Williams, are you gonna do our finance report?
Yes, I am. Good evening, commissioners, citizens. So you have been provided with a summarization of the general revenue and expenses dating from July 1st, 2023 to April 30th of 2024. And if you, at any point in time, if you'd like to see more details of these accounts, just please let myself or the county manager know. I will gladly provide those to you. So on the revenue side, currently, as of April 30, we are at a 96.33 collection rate of the property taxes. Overall, of all of the revenue, we have collected 76.84% of the revenue that was budgeted. On the expenses side, there are no negative ending department budget balances, and which speaks to budget amendments being brought to you timely, and that their spending is still within the original and or the amended budget. So we have spent 67.72% of the amount that's been budgeted for expenses. And as of April 30th, our revenue is $5,357,475 over the expenses. Over for what we've collected.
Some things are. Some expenses don't come in on a monthly basis. So you've got year-end stuff and those kind of things.
So something's to balance it out.
Balance it out.
Yeah, so that's where we are right now.
Yeah, don't think.
I missed something.
No, we haven't gotten them yet.
Get me up to date because I'm probably behind. I've been behind a long time, but so I audit.
Yes, sir. So,
Audit.
So the audit will be presented to you all before June 30. So there was some information that was missing from my audit from our previous finance director and was not provided in time. So we're still processing that and getting the information to our auditors.
So can you tell me,
Mhm.
I like to have stuff sooner than later. And when do you think you can, that audit maybe, and I know I understand, I'm not complaining, but I just kind of want to get an idea. Are you gonna be able to get it by the 1st of June or middle of?
So we're hoping for June 3rd at your next board meeting. So we're coordinating those efforts.
We're
with-
all hoping for next board meeting.
Yes, sir. It just depends on TPSA and if they're able to come.
But you're shooting for next board meeting.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And it won't be this late again. I can promise you that.
It's not your fault.
Yeah. And I just wanted to speak to this, we have a finance, policy, and it was adopted July 11th of 2016. And I believe this is the first time that you all have received this report. So according to our policy, we're supposed to give you a report every 3 months. And so moving forward, you all will receive this report from our finance director. So. Okay. That's it. You done? Oh, okay. Ready for the county manager's report or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll run through my reports. So the first thing that I have is a fireworks permit from tourism. So the Vance County Tourism Department is requesting approval of a fireworks permit for its Independence Day celebration at Satterwhite Point Park at Carr Lake, on Saturday, July 6, 2024. According to Tourism Director Pam Hester, the TDA has obtained the necessary permits and approvals from North Carolina State Parks and the Corps of Engineers, and the show will be contracted with a professional pyrotechnics firm which has the appropriate credentials and insurance coverage. So the recommendation is to approve the request from tourism for a permit and fee waiver to discharge fireworks at its Independence Day celebration at Carr Lake, planned for Saturday, July 6, 2024, contingent upon the necessary approvals from the fire marshal.
Mr. Chair, recommend to approve the request from tourism for a permit and fee waiver to discharge fireworks at its Independence Day celebration at Satterwhite Point at Carr Lake, planned for Saturday, July the 6th, 2024, contingent upon the necessary approvals from the fire marshal.
Second. Do we have a second? Did they give us a contingent date?
It's July 6th.
July 6th.
For,
Contingent date.
oh, no, I'm
Right,
sorry.
right.
No, sir. Not yet,
Okay.
but I can get that from Pam.
Now, last year, some of the application information was incorrect.
Okay.
And so we just need to make sure that that's all correct this year
Okay.
before we approve that all the way.
Okay.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, the motion carries.
Okay, so the next is ambulance franchise application for North Central Medical Transport. So the county's ordinance requires providers to be certified at the Basic Life Support or BLS and Advanced Life Support or ALS levels, and requires them to provide backup emergency services as needed under the Vance County EMS system plan. At this time, North Central Medical Transport is operating at the BLS level and is unable to provide ALS level of service. The current franchise ordinance requires franchisees to provide both BLS and ALS level service and the ability to back up Vance County EMS for 911 response. North Central Medical Transport is unable to meet these requirements at this time. So that does mean that they will lose their franchise. And I have some supporting documentation that I passed out at the beginning of the meeting that supports this as well. And I have Javier here to give more explanation if needed as it relates to that.
So this is our ordinance.
It's parts of the ordinance. No, the ordinance is attached to your agenda, but this is the part that we pulled out just for information that speaks to why he can't keep the franchise, why the franchise will not be approved, or whatever decision you all make. Javier, you want to come up?
Okay, so can this board take action to do an extension by modifying our ordinance?
I'll have to kick that to Jonathan.
These are granted, because of the type of what they are, these are granted as an ordinance approval, and they take 2 times in front of this board. So anything that's going to be done would not be able to be done this evening. We're going to have to consider them this evening and then bring them back up at the June meeting in order for them to be in effect prior to the expiration of the end of June. And so you would treat an extension of an existing franchise agreement in the same way as an original application. I am not aware, I would have to pull the ordinance. I'm not aware that it provides for any type of an extensions to be granted. It's all renewals and new franchise agreements.
I think, if I recall correctly, when we did these 3 years ago or whatever, we provided extensions to everyone.
What we did was we provided for certain ones who were not approved, we had, it was North State Medical Transport. I don't remember exactly what it was. They were applying initially, but they wanted to get started right away with our new ordinance coming online in May. And so we had to approve NSMT initially, and then we turned right around and brought the others in underneath of the new ordinance.
Okay. So tonight, there'll be no action on either of these? Okay.
We can have questions and review the application. And if we want more information, tonight's the time to ask for clarification or for additional information so that we will be in a position to approve the ones that are able to be approved at our next meeting to be effective July 1.
They aren't able to comply. They just not.
I got an email, did you send that? I thought you would send that out with,
Basically, they don't do the
I think I
advanced
just sent
life
it to
support
Javier. I didn't send it to the entire
anymore.
board. I
They
didn't,
only
when
do
you,
the
I received
basic.
it from you.
And our ordinance requires them to provide ALS service as well as be able to provide us with backup for our EMS system, both of the things of which this applicant said they are not able to do.
Oh, wow, we extending something they can't provide.
During COVID, we suspended pretty much the ALS part. And he's been unable to have the staffing. He's had some sickness with his wife and so forth.
I'll have
Been
to ask
dealing with
Javier.
that. Like I said, we'll send the email out so that everybody can review it. But he's in the process of trying to do that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For Javier. Do we
Yes, sir.
need this?
Say that one more time.
Do we need it?
Do we need it?
Yes, sir.
We can use it. Just a quick segue to the question at hand is, we have been very grateful for him to make it this far. Like when he's been doing BLS for a good little while now. And if we look at our franchise ordinance as it reads right now, that's a blatant, that goes against what our ordinance says. And we supposed to been took action against them. So we've been very grateful for it to make it this far. So when June 30th comes, if he's not able to fulfill the requirements of our current ordinance at this time, we're not going to be able to renew it or extend it because we will be going against our own ordinance.
We're gonna bring him into compliance if we do an extension. What's gonna bring him into compliance from
It
now?
gives him time to, he's got.
I don't know his name.
Some meds that are expired and he's getting new updated
Mr. Jesse Kern.
And then he's also,
It seems to me
trying
we
to
had
hire
this problem
ALS
before.
certified people
We did,
We
yes,
did.
sir.
in that process right
Yes, sir.
So Javier, when,
It's not a new problem with North State. We had this problem, 4 years ago with North State? I mean, they had failed to keep up the standards that they had.
Yes, but they quickly corrected themselves. That's what
We
Jonathan
went
was
out of the
speaking of.
way to accommodate them before, as I recall.
so,
Not North Central. That was the other franchisee.
Yeah, he was talking about North Central. He said North State, but he was talking about North Central.
Yeah, I'm talking about, I said North State, but yeah, I'm
Right.
talking about this.
North
system,
Central,
right,
correct.
North Central. They had this problem.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Ms.
in the
Chair.
supporting documentation that you provided for me, what
Yes.
kind of time frame would it take for them to be in compliance? Could they make it happen by June 30th?
Oh, no, it's impossible.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a very long process. He's gonna have to get his DEA license back. He's gonna have to get his North Carolina controlled substance license back. He's gonna
Okay.
have to spend a good amount of money on ALS supplies to be able to meet the requirements. He's gonna have to have a North Carolina Office of EMS inspections to inspect his ambulances to show that he's able to operate at the ALS level. And that's not a small undertaking by no means, and he's fully aware of that.
He's operating now.
Yes, sir. So like I said, he has been very much graced to make it this far because we are supposed to been suspended his franchise up to this point when he could not provide ALS services and could not back us up 911 according to our own ordinance. We were supposed to suspend his service then. So we've been gracious for him to make it to the June 30th. So when the June 30th comes, we can't renew.
You'll still be able to function.
Say it again.
You will still be able to operate.
He will still be able to operate, but what
We're
happens?
talking about you,
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, we'll be fine.
but
And
he's done,
he
basically.
won't be completely done, but what happens is he won't be able to do in-county transports. He won't be able to respond to any of our nursing homes. He won't be able to respond to any residences in Vance County. He'll be able to respond to the hospital and take patients outside of the county, but he won't be able to do any in-county runs whatsoever.
So basically, all he can do is transport from hospital to hospital.
Correct. Or from hospital to outside the county to another residence.
So there's no action tonight on this. That's just for your information. We know where they are in the process. If you could get the email he sent me,
Yeah, I'll send it out to the board. Absolutely.
so everybody's on the same page.
And thank you, Javier.
Thank you all.
Yeah, it's just,
Good evening.
you have to, action will be at the next meeting. Mhm.
But Javier, yes. The process for him to get in compliance is a lengthy process, is what you're saying?
Yes, sir. It's lengthy and it does have some good monetary value to it as well. I had a talk with him the middle of last week and yeah, he really is fully aware of what's going on and it's not a small undertaking at all. You know, unfortunately, the first place he's gonna have to start is with the DEA, and that's gonna take a while. That does come at a cost. Same thing with the North Carolina DHHS controlled substance. That is kind of lengthy, comes at a cost. Probably the fastest out of the process would be getting North Carolina Office of EMS to come and inspect his equipment and his trucks. The other part of that is as Commissioner Brumman stated, you know, right now paramedics are far and few in between. And so he would have to hire paramedics and would have to have at least one paramedic on each ALS ambulance to respond. And that's going to be difficult to do because all those EMS agencies in the state right now are definitely feeling the strain on paramedics.
All right.
Thank you. Thank
Good
you,
evening.
Javier.
Thank you.
So next is C, and it will not be a recommendation. It'll just be for your information only and be brought back to you on June 3rd. So ambulance franchise application for North State Medical Transport. North State Medical Transport has reapplied for their ambulance franchise. Their application appears to meet the ordinance requirements and they currently operate from a Vance County location. State law requires consideration of the franchise application at 2 separate meetings with the final consideration planned for the June 3rd meeting. So for your information only for tonight. So D is a revised budget calendar. Chapter 159 of the North Carolina General Statutes, the Local Government Finance Act requires presentation of a proposed budget to the Board of County Commissioners by June 1st of 2024. The proposed budget will be presented to the Board of County Commissioners on May 16th, 2024 at 4 p.m. So at this time, I would like to discuss possible budget work sessions to be scheduled between May 20th and June 15th. And I don't have any potential dates. I just wanted to throw it out there to see what dates everyone would be available. And it, of course, it would be a 6 p.m. meeting. And I would like the opportunity to have at least 2 work sessions with this being my first budget. And especially with us dealing with reval as well. So are there any potential dates that you all can think of, or you want me to just throw out some dates?
So this gonna start at 6 p.m.
Not unless you all wanted to explore something differently.
No?
Normally it's been 6 p.m. Historically, it's been 6 p.m.
5 or 6. So
Yeah, so if we wanted to do 5 o'clock, that's fine.
6 is good.
6 is better?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you all think about May 21st?
What date is that?
It's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday,
What works for me?
22nd, 23rd.
May 21st.
May 21st?
That'll work for me.
Or do you all want to do, so the 20th, we have our information session for reval, so, and that'll probably be from 4 to 5. So do we want to do the 20th and the 21st? And go ahead and knock it out? Can you do?
Vance Brown Trustee Board, did you want to?
Okay, so you can't do the 20th. Okay, so the 21st.
21st at 6 p.m.
Okay, and I need another date as well. Let's see, 5/21, 6 p.m.
The reval session is what time?
At 4 p.m. on the 20th.
21st.
And you said we can't do 5?
20th. No, the reval session is on the 20th.
20.
Sean?
You,
I'm not gonna be able to get there about 5:30.
which, the 20th.
Got court in Collinsville.
Okay.
So I have May 21st,
20 May reval. What time?
4 p.m. And then 5/21, 6 p.m. for a budget work session.
Just at 5:21.
Yes, sir. And can you all do May 23rd at 6 p.m.? No, you can't do 23rd? Okay,
I'm gone the rest of that week,
okay.
meetings.
My birthday's on, working that day.
So that next week,
Memorial
You-
weekend.
want-
Week.
you want to go into June?
Today's the 27th,
Mhm.
28th.
Right, I mean, the 28th and the 29th are wide open for me right now. Can you all do the 28th and the 29th?
28th, 29th.
Day.
How y'all?
Okay. Which one?
What day is it?
Tuesday.
That's a Tuesday and a Wednesday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Tuesday? Okay. So,
6 p.m.
uh-huh. Okay, so 2 consecutive Tuesdays,
And that's May the 28th,
May 28th, 6 p.m. Mm-hmm.
28th.
6 p.m.
21st and 20th.
Are we meeting in this office?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I would start at 6.
Yep.
Each 5:30. Up there.
So we got 28th, 20th, and 21st.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the 20th is reval.
We got the 20th too?
That's a reval
Rebound.
information session,
And what time is that?
4 o'clock.
Well, you know, I'll be at Vance Brown Trustee Board meeting that day.
Okay, all right.
4 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. We think 2 is enough? 2 work sessions is enough?
Let's, after that, we'll evaluate
Okay.
if we need more.
Okay. All right. All righty. So the next thing on my county manager's report is Board of E&R meetings. So seeing how tonight went, do you all want to explore, scheduling more meetings? Because the next meeting would, as of right now, would be June 3rd. So do you all want to explore scheduling more meetings for Board of E&R?
For- Can this be on a separate date
What's that?
when these ERs?
Board of E&R. Yes, it's whatever the board wants to do.
It could,
Whatever date you all want to schedule.
it's like, we talked about the budget proposal being on the 16th.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Could, if we have more,
Mm-hmm.
we could do those.
Next
on
Thursday.
that date After the budget presentation.
Yeah, instead of waiting till this meeting.
Mm-hmm. So,
So what are y'all saying? Where y'all at now?
I was asking, could we do the ENR on a separate day
Yeah,
instead of doing these meetings?
I didn't think we was doing it the same day.
We just did it.
Mhm. yeah.
We do it in time, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got you.
I know, Granville County has several dates just scheduled in the event that they have, several appeals coming before the Board of E&R. So is that something you all want to explore, just to have them on the calendar?
All we're doing is present the budget. We're not going over the budget. That meeting will be a fairly short meeting,
Yeah, it's just presentation only.
presentation.
Mhm.
That's not a work session.
Yeah, right.
I just need to know which Sean.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
On the ENRs, you can't have those except unless you publish them, correct?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to publish in the
That's
newspaper.
correct.
And I'm not sure if we're talking about the 16th, that would be able to publish that in the
That
newspaper
quickly.
and get that done in time.
That won't work then.
The other thing I want to bring up about that is, I would hope that the tax office and the appraisers would do a little bit more education to the people coming to meet with us about what things they potentially need is something in writing.
And not to say we're dragging these out any longer than we have to, but the appeals process closes. It doesn't mean that we have to have all of the appeal
correct.
hearings wrapped up.
Right.
And tonight showed an area that we might be able to explore to get farther along with some of these folks. And I think it's reasonable to let that time play out and to work with those people and give them another 30 days so that we come back in June. And then maybe after June's meeting, we set a time period sometime in July or whatever works for you guys after you get through budgeting.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Everybody good there?
Well, I don't know if I'm good or not, but when these people came up and they was explaining their issues, they actually said that they did a great job. They explained themselves very well. They talked to the tax office. They understood what they were saying, but they were still lost. So could they just be doing it just to be doing it? Or could they really be like, I don't get it?
Well, I mean,
Sean?
Yes, sir.
I agree with what you're saying, but I will be very, very interested in the next time these people come before us, what they have or what they do. It will and if they get educated, then that means that people in the future can get educated. The next meeting of this
To tell a story.
will tell the story, what you're asking.
And I would just I have total confidence in our tax office and I'm 100% sure that this has been communicated, but we'll just work on our efforts to communicate more. Because it was on the notice that went out as well, and we've been communicating as much as possible.
Well,
But we'll just go the extra mile without a doubt. That's not a problem.
Well, obviously, these people everybody needs to know that when you come, you need to have something
Mhm. Right.
in writing,
Absolutely, without a
not
doubt.
by yourself.
Yeah, and we'll just work on more education for sure. Yeah, that's not a problem.
Okay.
when people need to understand, go ahead, Jeff Portion.
Even when they come into office, the girls at the counter sit down and explain everything to them. And they ask them, what do we need to bring? They show them on the computer where they found the sales information and they can put it to them. So they sit down with them, and Austin and Michael sit down with them and talk with them, and not just out in the public, but they take them in to the side and go through everything with them.
Yeah.
And tell them what they need when they come here. I just think sometimes when they get here, they see that they need more than just coming. But they were told.
I mean, only one person bought any evidence tonight, and they were just pictures. That's the thing. And so you got to bring substantial evidence
That's right.
in order to do that. Yes.
Well, I have a question. Hey, excuse me, before, I don't mean to cut you off, I apologize. But since we talking about going the extra mile, could it be like a form they sign? Like when they go to the tax office and they explain things to them, be like, we explained it and they understand. So when they come in here, they can be like, well, no one told me.
It's on the appeal form. And they signed, yeah.
But we could also come up.
I'm gonna say this to you all. You do an excellent job, but when it comes to the folks that came tonight, they're senior citizens. And when you sit down and talk with them, I have no doubt that you do everything you're supposed to do. But my thing is that when they finish talking, it's like teaching a class. I've told you what I'm gonna tell you. I tell you, and Carol, in terms of teaching, and then you sit down and say, you need 1, this, 2, this, 3, this, and write it down and have them write it down, because otherwise they just, you give them information. and they had not comprehended it. The group that came tonight and everything, you know, the elderly, the information, the first time they're dealing with you, they get confused. And it's, because I have a friend that has a husband in terms of doctor and everything. He takes his wife with him and everything, because when they tell him information, he misses it all. He's 88 years old. So you do what you're supposed to do, but at the same time, I think if you would just have, you know, remember when you come back with us, you need a copy of this, you need pictures of this, you need this and this, because I think that way they don't come empty-handed like they did tonight. And I have no doubt you explained it to them. I'm not.
And I think, you know, when you, some people, I think they understand, you know, they know, but I think sometimes people come before you think about, go the extra mile, I can change somebody's heart. Somebody can change I got 7 people that's gonna work in my favor. Somebody gonna choose to go with me. And I think that's what's really happening, that, you know, they understand and they know this, but I still got a group of people, let me take a farther.
They want to plead their case.
I want to plead my case, because, you know, you all, I'm hearing you tell me, but you all ain't understanding, so I need to bring before another group. That's, you know, that's why sometimes some people think in that magnitude.
You had something you want to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on the fact that property owners providing evidence, a lot of times, good solid evidence is provided, you all will never see things. It'll be self-developed or it's presented here. And unfortunately, what happens is when we don't receive evidence, we request evidence. We're bound by the same statutes that you all are. Unfortunately, have to bring here with the board to make a decision. We'll bring the evidence initially, same way for bringing evidence.
Okay. There've been 380 some appeals, and we had 5 that showed up before us tonight. So yes, you're making some adjustments and doing things, but it goes back to what Leo said. We're dealing with a population that is very sensitive to these things. And
Well, and Mr. Chair, I believe honestly, if we open the next meeting and explain that the higher tax values does not automatically equate to doubling your tax bill, that sounded like the common sentiment of all these folks.
It's an assumption.
We were saying,
Yeah.
you know, we could tell them that we solve half the problem.
And well, and we're going to get that message out at the training session, but that probably would be a good note to do at the beginning, to make that an announcement, and just so that they understand it, because as all of y'all have, I'm sure, even down with my wife, that you hear it, we all hear it, no matter how many times we repeat it, you have to repeat it again and again. And eventually folks do get that message, but it is such a shock because our values have gone up. I just think the natural reaction.
Ready? Okay. So opioid PBM update. So the opioid consortium has recovered funds for North Carolina over the past 8 years. There is now an option to amend our complaint to include PBM, which is pharmacy benefit managers, and the national opioid litigation. If the county amends our complaint, the county will have the opportunity to participate in additional recovery if there is a favorable resolution. So it's pretty much just stating that we have the opportunity to amend our complaint so that we could possibly receive more additional opioid funds. Right now, we have a little over $1.3 million in opioid funds. So this just increases our opioid funds at some point possibly. And so I'm just seeking for the board to approve the amendment of the county's complaint to add the PBM defendants, including its subsidiaries.
So can I ask a question? The initial part of this opioid situation, we had our attorney involved in doing whatever negotiations were required with the other attorneys. So in this particular recommendation that I'm seeing here, I'm not ever opposed to getting more money, but I want to know, is our attorney now involved again in any negotiations as he was before? in terms of amending this complaint.
So what I'll say is I was not
And
involved.
what our attorney recommends in this.
I was not involved with the original complaint. I did get involved when we had questions about the fees and approvals and enough local municipalities giving consent and approval, and was quite active in that conversation. But Colonel, I can tell you from what the county manager has shared with me prior to this meeting, based upon that information, it appears that from the discovery that they had to get the courts to order to be provided to the plaintiff's attorneys, our attorneys, it was revealed that there is another segment of plaintiffs that has enough of a case to argue to include them. And additionally, the judge has signaled a willingness to allow our complaints to be amended, to be included within that. And I do not see a downside to agreeing to amend our complaint and seek additional compensation from these plaintiffs.
Okay, that being the case, I'm gonna make a motion to approve the amendment of the county's complaint to add the PBM defendants, including subsidiaries.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye? Opposed? That motion carries.
So I forgot, this is another handout. The handout I just gave you all is, the rules of procedures for tax appeals and the rules of conduct for the Board of E&R. I sent this to you all a couple weeks ago via email, and this needs to be adopted, by the Board of Commissioners for the Board of Equalization and Review. These were created by the tax department and legal as well. So Jonathan has reviewed and approved these.
Can I put in a motion to approve?
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye? Opposed? Motion carries.
And then I'll get you a fresh copy because it says April on the back, so I need to just change the date, okay? We'll get that for you.
So when we send out notices, I'm sure we're going to call and email and do that for the folks that we continue this evening to tell them when to come again. But I do believe we need to also provide it in writing.
Okay.
And let's just include these with them when we
Okay,
send them out.
absolutely.
All right, Jonathan, you're up.
It's been a month or two since we've done one of these. This is a initial offer to purchase. This is the time where we agree to publish this in the newspaper and see if we get any upset bids. So this is the first of the two approvals. The offer is on South. The offer is for an empty lot on Red Clay Lane. It's tax parcel 352A01 at 29. The offer is for $900 and the required deposit has been made. What is before you this evening is to accept this offer and to put it out for upset bids.
What was the tax amount? 'Cause generally, I thought, isn't our rule generally 50% of the attorney fees and the taxes? There were no taxes?
I believe it was 50% of the taxes owed and attorney's fees that we paid on
What were
this.
the taxes that were owed?
We can't bid on none of this stuff, can we?
Okay, I mean, that should be included to get to the 900.
I don't disagree. This is all provided to me. This is not something that I've ever put together but this is something that I believe that the tax office is supposed to provide the verification if it meets the minimums of what this board has set forth.
But in past, haven't we done attorney's fees plus the balance of the taxes?
It's been attorney's fees and any demolition fees we had, if we had any.
It wasn't past taxes.
Okay, I thought it was taxes. No, demolition fees, we don't have those. The city never gives up on those.
But we've had some demolition.
Oh, yeah, originally in there, but I think I think the policy that the board adopted, and we can go back and pull that, was for attorney's fees and taxes owed at the time of the foreclosure.
Can I ask you, is this property on a state road? I'm sorry,
It's on a dirt road.
Dirt road,
not on a state road.
on a dirt road.
It's on Red Clay Lane.
Dirt road.
That's a dirt
What
road.
I'm saying is it's not on, it's not a state
It's not-
road.
it's
That's
not
correct.
state, no.
That's correct.
And so it's in the county, not city and county.
Correct. It is county. It is just county.
And obviously, if we approve this, then that's not the final bid because it goes,
It's not. This board did adopt a policy to say that the minimum bids that we would look at was a formula based upon our expenses when it was foreclosed. I believe that this may be the first time with a lot of the turnover that we've had that we've received a bid, and it's sounding like the necessary formula has not been applied, and so we may
do we
need to continue this one
Yeah, I make
before.
a motion, we continue it.
Okay, thank you.
That help?
Huh? We'll just continue, we're tabling it.
Oh, okay.
That's it. We're not dealing with it tonight until they have an opportunity to figure it out.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Next we have a consent agenda.
Making those approved consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye. Opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Miscellaneous, Kelly.
We have appointments for the month. The Adult Care Advisory Committee, reappoint June Royster Tucker and Louise Williams. The Cartar Workforce Development Board, we had an application from Jennifer Jones to fill a vacant position. And for the Vance County Planning Board and the Board of Adjustments, the District 6 position is vacant, and we had two applications for that position, one from James Baines and one from Katie Richardson, and those applications are attached.
We make a motion for the, all of
Hey,
this.
who's District 6? Do you have a recommendation?
Katie Richardson.
You do? Okay. All right.
I actually reached out.
Hmm?
I reached out, trying
Okay.
to find somebody, and she was willing to step up.
Okay, all right, well, that's what, and generally, that's what we've done in the past, and the commissioner recommends that district. Okay, so would you like to make the motion so that for all of them?
Okay. Well, let's do the first two, since it's no.
Okay, let's, we need a motion for reappointment of the Adult Care Advisory Committee and the Cartar Workforce Development Board.
Make a motion that we, accept the appointments, the applicants for the Adult Care Advisory Committee and the Carter Workforce Development Boards.
Okay, can we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye? Opposed? Motion carries.
I make a motion that, we appoint Katie Richardson to the Vance County Planning Board and Board of Adjustments.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye? Opposed? The motion carries. So that's all the appointments. Next, we have a closed session to discuss a property matter. Do we anticipate any action after that? I'm sorry? Minutes for the, so we'll have approval of the minutes after that, okay? We have a motion to go in closed session. Second. All in favor, aye?